Hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing a book review on Onestars Confession. Where do I begin with this book? I could start like I normally do by saying if I liked it or disliked it, if it was good or bad, but the answer isn't that simple. I will say, it does seem to be one of the more controversial Warriors books right now. Start with the parts I liked. So, I did think it was interesting to see into his mind a little bit, like the whole Dark Tale thing and how he became like a complete asshole when he became leader. It was interesting to get his point of view on that and to kind of go in his mind towards the end when he was kind of going insane with fear of going to the Dark Forest and fear of having to kill his own son. And I also liked how the prologue and the epilogue were connected to each other. And the ending comic was pretty good as well. We got to see One Star in StarClan and try to atone for his mistakes and try to rekindle his friendship with Firestar. So that part was good. Now we're gonna get into things I didn't like, and I fear that the things I didn't like are longer than the list of things I liked. So, first of all, I had trouble getting into the book because it was just kind of like, another retelling of the past through another warrior's point of view, and obviously they made up like a bunch of new familial relationships to make it make sense, and I'm not completely against that, except for the fact that I think that would be great nephew married his daughter, so you didn't have to make that weird Aaron Hunters, but you did. You didn't have to make Breeze Pell and Heathertail related, but you did. And I do not appreciate that. Also, his whole thing with Whitetail was kind of weird because Whitetail was his apprentice and then they became mates, and although they were both consenting adults and One Star didn't start thinking of Whitetail that way until after she was a warrior, so technically it's not like illegal or like that morally wrong or anything, but I'm just still not a fan of mentors and apprentices getting together. That's just weird to me. And also I thought a lot of his familial bonds were kind of lacking, like his bonds with his litter mates and his parents. Like, I just think there could have been a lot more depth there. Like with other super editions such as Crooked Star's Promise and Tall Star's Revenge, they definitely explored familial relationships a lot better and how the characters interacted with their family and how their family interactions shaped who they are. But with One Star's Confession, it just felt kind of weak. Also, One Star's name doesn't really make sense because I always thought that maybe he was the only cat of his litter and that's how they named him One Kit, but now he has 2 litter mates, so why the hell is he named One Kit?
Hello, future me here to add a couple more points. So relating to One Star's familial bonds being lacking, his relationships with both Whitetail and Smoke were also lacking, mostly in the context that Smoke and Whitetail weren't really given much personality. They were just stereotypical, nice love interests, and their whole motivation was around One Star and loving him, and that's really not great because neither of them had their own ambitions or personality traits and weren't shown to care about much else besides One Star. I also watched Sunnyfall's review on this book, and they brought up some great points about how it was just a retelling of past events that we've already heard about a million times, like I mentioned earlier, and how they could have focused on much more interesting things, like how Broken Star made Shadow Clan chase Wind Clan out of their territory, and how Wind Clan was dealing with their exile away from Wind Clan, and One Star realizing that kitty pets could be warriors after meeting Firestar, and they just could have developed Firestar and One Star's relationship and the downfall of the relationship more, because One Star is an interesting character, even though he's a douchebag, and there's a lot that could have been explored more about his psyche and his character flaws, but even though they did do that a little bit, that part was a little bit brushed over. Overall, I would probably rate One Star's Confession 2 out of 5 stars. I would say it's the worst Super Edition I've ever read, but didn't completely hate it. Thank you for watching. Bye!